addressed immediately. Efforts to revive economy post-COVID-19 bearing fruits. The food security crisis needs to be addressed immediately, especially as the world is facing various challenges at the moment. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah also agreed that a long-term plan can be drawn up to strengthen food security and ensure the cost of living is at an appropriate level.
Kita juga berharap agar kerajaan Berita dan pemimpin di setiap lapisan untuk menangani masalah kelangsungan hidup yang membelenggu segelintir rakyat Berita, termasuklah kos sara hidup yang tinggi, di samping peningkatan harga komoditi industri dan makanan.
His Majesty advised everyone to ensure that there is no seeds of disputes when every time the country is faced with food security problems and the rising cost of living. Sultan Abdullah also advised Malaysians to play a role by cultivating frugality and spending prudently. His Majesty also praised the initiatives to strengthen social protection implemented by the government, including the Keluarga Malaysia Hardcore Poverty Eradication Program. The King expressed high hopes that the program can achieve its target of eliminating the hardcore poor by 2025. On another note, Sultan Abdullah said any deficit of confidence in the country's ability must be addressed soon to enable the country to rise again on the world stage. Toward that end, His Majesty said the country needs a stable government, apart from being supported by an efficient, transparent, integrity, business-friendly and people-friendly service delivery system and governance.
Demi untuk merancangkan pertumbuhan ekonomi dan menjadikan negara sebagai pilihan pelaburan utama di rantau ini, ianya menuntut persefahaman dan pengorbanan semua pihak untuk mewujudkan lanskap politik yang lebih stabil dan lebih berterusan.
The King expressed hope that all political issues can be resolved immediately in order to prevent the country from falling into a confidence deficit that could affect the country's image and future. His Majesty also expressed his gratitude that the country recorded improvements in economic growth last year. According to Sultan Abdullah, the matter was achieved through an effective health management strategy and political understanding so that the country could resume taking steps to achieve the development agenda. The government is taking a cautious approach to the latest global developments, especially the issue of food supply and rising food prices, which affected the well-being of Keluarga Malaysia, Malaysian family. To address the economic crisis due to the pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine conflict, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the government has formulated short, medium and long-term measures to stabilise food supplies and prices. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said Malaysia, the ASEAN region and other regions in the world were not spared from the impact of the crisis, adding that the global supply chain was also affected, resulting in the world food prices rising by more than 30%. Through the short-term measures, he said the government has announced the abolishment of the approved permit AP requirement to import foodstuffs and imposed a ban on the export of chicken.
40 mulai 1 Julai ini mewujudkan tabung agro makanan dengan dana berjumlah RM500 juta melalui pemberian pinjaman mudah kepada pemain-pemain industri agro makanan, mewujudkan stok penimbal untuk ayam, daging dan ikan bagi memastikan bekalan makanan mencukupi.
He said this in his congratulatory speech at the investiture ceremony of Federal Awards and Honours in conjunction with the official birthday of Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah at Istana Negara today. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the 5 short-term measures were among the government's approaches to protecting keluarga Malaysia from the burden of rising prices of goods, apart from various subsidies which are expected to reach 71 billion ringgit this year. He said these were followed by several medium and long-term measures to stabilise the supply and prices of food. On another note, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the government's efforts to revive the economic post-COVID-19 pandemic are increasingly bearing fruits and are seeing a strong momentum. He said the national economy recorded a 3.1% growth in 2021 compared with a 5.6% contraction in the preceding year.
Kerajaan Tuanku bertekad memacu ekonomi untuk mencapai pertumbuhan di antara 5.3% sehingga 6.3% sebagaimana yang diunjurkan. Pembukaan sempadan juga telah merancangkan usaha pemulihan ekonomi, khususnya sektor pelancongan dengan peningkatan kemasukan pelancong asing. Seramai 2 juta pelancong asing dijangka mengunjungi Malaysia pada tahun ini yang akan menyumbang sebanyak 8.6 bilion ringgit kepada ekonomi negara.
The Malaysian Estate Owners Association MEOA remains optimistic that work permits will be issued to mid-sized and small plantations with the same urgency as to larger firms. Amid labour crunch facing the oil palm industry, the association is pleased to hear that a big company had been allocated permit to bring in a limited group of workers from Lombok, Indonesia, even if it was highly publicised that the inaugural intake was aborted. This means that the process of issuance of permits has started. Notwithstanding that there may be reasons and perceptions raised pertaining to the intake abortion, the top priority now is to ensure the modus operandi is firmed up and the entire process can kickstart without delay. This is so that all companies, big, medium or small players, will benefit from the return of the guest workers into Malaysia. According to MEOA, at the start of 2022, it estimated there was an acute shortage of around 120,000 workers in the local oil palm industry. This can deprive the industry and the nation of a massive 28 billion ringgit in revenue from unharvested fresh fruit bunches this year. Coming up next, Tabung Haji prepares health treatment centres specialist in Madinah. The police have solved 7 housebreaking cases in the Hulu Terengganu district with the arrest of a family of 3 suspected members of the Fahmi gang. According to Hulu Terengganu District Police Chief DSP Muhammad Adli Mat Daud, all the suspects were nabbed in 2 separate raids in Pudu, Kuala Lumpur and Kampung Temala in Marang on Saturday and yesterday. The husband and wife pair was arrested in a hotel at Federal Capital after they were just closing a deal on the sale of jewellery with an agent there. The married couple, aged 38 and 28 respectively, run car wash and beauty salon businesses. Meanwhile, the prime suspect, 28-year-old man, was detained at a house in Kampung Temala and was found to be the younger brother of the woman suspect. DSP Muhammad Adli said the main suspect had 3 previous criminal records for drugs-related offence and had just been released from prison last January. Following the arrest, the police seized jewellery, mobile phones and cash, all estimated to be worth 100,000 ringgit in total. The suspect have been remanded for 4 days from Saturday to assist in police investigations into the case. Police have detained 3 motorists, 1 high on cannabis and 2 for being drunk on suspicion of causing accidents in separate cases in Seremban, Kabar and Jasin. Seremban Police Chief Nanda Ma'ruf said a 28-year-old suspect was nabbed at the scene after he was believed to have caused an accident involving 5 vehicles at kilometre 243.3 of the North-South Expressway southbound yesterday. driven by a man believed to be drunk at kilometer 1 Jalan Kuala Dipang Malim Nawar Kampar last night. Kampar District Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Nazuri Daud identified the victim as Muhammad Nazuri Syam Aring 42, who was driving a Perodua Viva. In a statement today, he said the suspected drunk driver driving a Honda Civic has been remanded for 5 days to assist in investigations. Meanwhile, a motorcyclist and his pillion rider died after a car with a suspected drunk driver at the wheel crashed into their machine at Jalan Serkam Pantai, Melimau Jasin this morning. Melaka Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Department Chief Amran Zaki Omar said, in the 7:45 a.m. incident, motorcyclist Izzuddin Muhammad 50 and his pillion rider Suraya Muhammad 48 died from severe injuries to the head and body. Another motorcyclist, Yaakob Muhammad 57, was slightly injured after his machine burst into flames into the collision. The car also hit another motorcycle parked at the roadside before crashing into a house. The 24-year-old motorist was also slightly injured. The enforcement of permit to enter permanent forest reserves to carry out recreational activities through seasonal passes in the Bukit Kledang area, Kledang Sayong Forest Reserve, has been postponed until further notice. According to Perak Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Sakrani Muhammad, the matter would be further discussed in the State Executive Council meeting next week. He further explained that Perak Forestry Director Datuk Muhammad Zain Yusof has been informed on the matter and requested to take the necessary actions.
Dan dia kata dia mengambil maklum, dia akan menyediakan kertas makluman dan dia akan mengambil tindakan yang sewajarnya lah. Saya pun nak kena tahu apa asasnya, apa rasionalnya, siapa yang terkesan, kita akan ambil tahu dan of course lah nanti daripada apa yang dilaporkan oleh Datuk Mak Zain, kita akan bincangkan dalam Mesyuarat Exco Kerajaan Negeri pada hari Rabu minggu ini.
Previously, the Perak State Forestry Department announced that the enforcement of permit to enter permanent forest reserves for the purpose of carrying out daily recreational activities through seasonal passes at the area would take the effect next month. Malaysian citizens will be charged between RM10 and RM200, while the permit fees for foreigners are from RM400 to RM800 with a processing fee of RM20. Lembaga Tabung Haji TH, in an effort to provide the best in healthcare, has prepared a treatment centre and specialist doctors to make it easy and more organised to serve the Malaysian Hajj pilgrims. Madinah Director of Operations Medical, Dr. Abdul Marsudi Manah, said that public health officers would also patrol from room to room to explain the importance of basic healthcare. According to Dr. Abdul Marsudi, TH has made preparations by setting up a healthcare centre at Madinah in the Roha Al Madinah building, which has 37 beds with a strength of 44 staff, 5 of which consist of 3 physicians in the fields of internal, anaesthesia and public health. He said the treatment centre is also supported by 7 medical officers and 32 healthcare personnel, including nurses, and they also provide a mobile clinic in the pilgrims' accommodation buildings.
Sometimes jemaah dia tak sedar dia sakit. Kita punya unit tu yang akan tengok dan akan rawat di tempat itu juga. Sekiranya perlu, dia akan dihantar ke sini, dirujuk ke sini dan kita akan stabilize di sini. Kita akan rawat di sini. Ya, sekiranya kita tidak mampu untuk rawat, kita akan refer ke hospital Arab yang berkenaan. Ya. Jadi bila di hospital Arab, waris ataupun mahram ataupun waris di Malaysia tak perlu risau, ya, sebab kita ada unit yang akan melawat.
Dr. Abdul Marsudi reminded the pilgrims to seek early treatment if dehydrated and not to wait till the body weakens, considering the hot weather during the Hajj season. Badminton legend Dato' Foo Kok Keong today expressed his gratitude for being bestowed with the Panglima Jasa Negara (PJN) by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, which carries the title Dato'. The 90s shuttler said as a sportsman, he was elated and honoured to receive the federal award in conjunction with the Yang di-Pertuan Agong's official birthday celebration.
very happy and been so long, and then managed to got this by Agong the title. So at least as a sportman, at least got something. The players they have to work hard because a lot of countries coming up, so they really have to work hard. Whether in BM or professional, wherever, because nowadays the standard level is different. Memang bukan senang lagi.
Datuk Kok Kiong currently scouts for young talents involving individuals from the B40 group through his participation with the non-governmental organisation Rotary Club in Rahman Putra. He said so far there are 6 players. 2 have been recruited by the Badminton Association of Malaysia BAM, and the talents whom he has found and trained are aged between 15 to 16. Among the National Badminton Legends' achievements as a player include gold medals at the Manila Sea Games in 1991 and the Thomas Cup in 1992, as well as the bronze at the 1992 Badminton World Cup in Guangzhou, China. The Harimau Malaya remain unperturbed by the physical advantage of the Turkmenistan side they face in the 2023 Asian Cup qualifiers on 8 June. National defender Dominic Tan said he remained confident with head coach Kim Pangon's ability to devise a strategy for the match.
Ya, maybe diorang punya physical yang lebih besar, diorang punya strength. Tapi physicality bukannya semuanya. Yeah, we have been doing video sessions and everything, but yeah, we have our game plan and we will work on it before the game against Turkmenistan.
Commenting on his chances of being listed in the starting lineup for the action, the Sabah FC defender said he felt Pangon would make the best decision for the team.
Of course, the coach has his plan, tactical wise, and whoever plays, I'm sure the other players who don't play as well, including me, if I don't play, we encourage one another and we work as a team together to get the result that we want to achieve.
Meanwhile, Dominic said the bond and understanding between the players and Pangon had become stronger since the South Korean took over the national side earlier this year. In the Group E action of the 2023 Asian Cup qualifiers, Malaysia faced Turkmenistan on 8th June, followed by Bahrain on 11th and Bangladesh on 14th June. The Harimau Malaya football squad, meanwhile, have been reminded not to be lulled by praise after notching 2 consecutive victories in their recent Tier 1 international friendly matches. On the contrary, Football Association of Malaysia FAM President Datuk Hamidin Muhammad Amin said that with the final round of the 2023 Asian Cup qualifiers starting this Wednesday, there are still many areas the present batch of players need to improve. He said, admittedly, the 2 wins over Brunei and Hong Kong are a good start to their preparations, but it doesn't mean anything if they don't do better in the actual clash. He also reminded the players not to be lulled by compliments and accolades, but to instead use it as inspiration to fight on. According to Datuk Hamidin, the 2 friendly matches showed that there are still gaps to be rectified by Harimau Malaya, apart from the pitfall of underestimating opponents from time to time. Should they emerge Group E champions or be among the top 5 second-place teams in the qualifiers, the national squad will end their more than 40-year wait to qualify on merit for the Asian Cup since 1980 edition in Kuwait. Alright, so that's it from us this evening. In our top story, food security crisis needs to be addressed immediately. Join us for updates at noon at 12:30 tomorrow. I'm Shuhaida Arifin. Thank you for watching.